Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod with Igor Shaposhnikov with us today. He's business dev executive at Dedicated. He's also co-founder at that company. He's been running companies for quite some time now, live from Ukraine, and he's great at generating wealth from this part of the world. So intriguing character and the pod that we're going to have today. This podcast is brought to you by podpire.com. That is my podcasting company. If you want to start, scale, be invited to podcasts like this one, you can go to podpire.com. We help you monetize podcasts the unconventional way. Igor, nice to have you on. Tell me a bit more about yourself and about what you're up to nowadays.
Nice to meet you too, Charles. I've been doing business for many years. It happened a little bit unexpectedly for me. I thought I would be a teacher, and I became a teacher. It was back in last century at one of the universities of Ukraine, but that was the time, it was 90s of the last century when teachers were not paid in Ukraine. So I decided to switch to business, and then I loved it. I loved the way you're never limited when you do business. I love the way working for myself. I love the way you can teach people. As a teacher, I like teaching people how to solve their problems to make more money with me. So that's how my business is progressing.
Interesting. And what are you up to nowadays? What do you spend your time on? How do you make your money?
I have a company which, on one hand, is a very typical Ukrainian company because we have, in Ukraine, we have a gold mine of engineers. And it's easy to scale if you need more engineers overnight, which is quite unique. But on the other hand, in the Ukrainian outsourcing company, there is a rule: you do everything for everyone. Like if you come to Ukrainian IT company, ask them, do you have a really nice mobile developer, iOS developer? They'll say, yeah, of course. If you ask them, would you give me DevOps people? They'll say, yes. I mean, they would never say no. I mean, I guess I would make a bet with you. If you find a Ukrainian company, they would say no to you, to such a request. I can pay you $100 because they do everything. But in my case, I always try to be very specialized in things that I do. Why? Because it's easier to sell. It's easier to have a good margin, and it's easier to compete. So that's why when I had different businesses, but when I created my IT company, I decided to do only two things. The first one was cloud and DevOps. And it's a very cool business because everything right now runs in the cloud. Everybody needs DevOps, make your code placed in the right spots, and it should function correctly. And the problem is that many engineers, CTOs, they know how to do DevOps, but they don't do it really professionally. Like the way, for example, Charles, if you have leakage in your house or problems with your electricity, I'm sure that with proper tools, you can fix it. I mean, if you don't know how to fix it, you can watch videos on internet and then fix it yourself. I mean, it's man's job. On the other hand, for example, if your house is going to be like a Airbnb place and many people are going to live there, what you have done is not going to last. So the same with DevOps. On one hand, everybody knows how to do it. On the other hand, if you have many users of your platform, it needs to scale fast, you need to add new features, then you need professionals. And that's why I chose to be a DevOps company. The way I did it, I snatched some of the best DevOps solution architects from the best Ukrainian IT companies, really huge ones, international ones. And the way I seduced them to work with me, I told them, you're working on those huge projects with corporates for many years, doing the same. But with me, you'll do something different, and you'll be able to try yourself as co-founders, co-owners of an interesting company. So that's why they agreed, and they brought in other DevOps people with them from their network. And the other part of our company is data science team. And I always loved, artificial intelligence because it's always excited me. And we have been doing everything. We have been doing computer vision. We have been doing speech to text, text to speech. We have been doing predictions, many things. But also we have been doing natural language processing, working with documents, saving times of people when you need tons of documents and you really need to very fast understand what's there inside. So right now it evolved into large language models, ChatGPT stuff, projects, and because of this, I'm very lucky that I've been there for quite a long time. So we have projects connected to large language model, ChatGPT, and there are many projects like this. So that's what I do. I'm still in Ukraine in spite of the war. I had to relocate my family from the eastern part of the country to the western part when the war started. But other than that, I'm still in Ukraine. I love my country.
Love that. How much line do you run on nowadays, and what pricing packages do they hire you for?
How much line? Can you elaborate on the
clients?
question? Clients. Okay. We have about 100 engineers all in all, and we have about, I don't know, 25 clients right now. And yeah.
They
What
hire
was the
you
other
for
part?
like 5K a month or something like that. It's like, and what do you provide to most of them as a service?
Okay. For example, if we are talking about cloud and DevOps, your company, you're paid to AWS a couple of $1 million per year. And that's you are not a big company. You're pretty good, but a couple of $1 million per year is not a huge business. And you don't really know why you're using these virtual machines, why, like, if they are used up to their 100% capacity. Sometimes you order too much stuff from AWS just to make sure that you are sustainable, but there are ways to do it dynamically. So what we can do, we come to clients, we offer them free audit of their cloud infrastructure, and then we provide them with the guidelines how they can save from 15 to 25% of their costs per year. So that's one of the things. We do cloud migration. Of course, we are AWS advanced partners, so we have projects coming from AWS sales guys to us, inbound projects. And so anything connected to cloud, when you need to control what's going on there in a very effective way with the use of Kubernetes, Terraform, all this new stuff. So that's one. And with AI projects, they're really interesting because we are industry agnostic, and it all boils down to virtual assistants, virtual chatbots. And we've had clients come to us with the business problem, and we help them solve this business problem. I can give you an example. We were approached by a really big international it's education online company. Of course, it was through an intermediary, an American company, because being in Ukraine, I cannot reach directly to them. But this intermediary, he knew their CTO and he knew us. So they've come to us with the problem. They said they have millions of students all over the world, and those students are paying for taking their courses, but also when students are taking exams and they are passing the exam successfully, they also pay for the certifications. And their problem was that about 13% of their students, they were failing the exams or not even taking them at the very end of the course. So the company was losing money, not selling these certifications. And they said they think it's because they don't have enough teachers to support it. And they really have millions of students all over the world. So we decided to create a personalized learning chatbot for them. So firstly, we had to show them that we are good in it. So we asked them, what's your most complex course that students, fail. And actually, it was about LLM, which is interesting, a large language model. So we uploaded it to our context builder, which is like our own ChatGPT, so to say. And we passed these exams. We had very good result. So this company, they were happy. And then we created a chatbot that would know everything about the scheduling for the students, the curriculum. It would know where all the information can be found. It would motivate the student. And so this chatbot is able to guide the students to successfully pass the exams. That's one of the, to me, it's really interesting. To me, it's exciting because it's like 24/7 customer support in all languages, because we are language agnostic, of course. And another case, quite an interesting one for me as a sales guy, there was a call center in California, and there was a department, there is a department actually, of 500 salespeople making calls with clients, trying to sell something. And their business problem was that the head of sales there, he didn't really understand what was going on, not enough data, he said. And he said, I only know what salespeople really sell, and that's it. But I cannot really control what other people do. And there is a great turnover of people because they are not satisfied with their job. They leave very often. Onboarding is difficult. Spend lots of time onboarding new people. So what we did, we placed a system that would record all the calls of the salespeople. Then we would do speech to text, from sounds to data to text. We would diarize or divide the speakers, like the sales agents and the client. And then based on their criteria, we would do AI scoring, like how well those agents did their job. And those criteria, they would be changing because it would be always compared to the calls that the most successful guys did. So it was like a co-pilot that was learning on the fly. And then it was the first task. And the second task was, because we shared with them our success case with this online educational company. They said, can you do like virtual assistant to teach those salespeople in a personalized way? So they are taught only on their own mistakes. Each of those 500 people is taught based on his or her personal mistakes. So we did this system. So, and after each call, not only the person received the AI scoring, how well they did their job, but also guidelines for future calls, how they should improve their performance. And what's interesting for me, that this head of sales guy, he said that his people were very happy about it. I said, why? And he said, because before they used to receive this criticism or correction from real people, from him, from some other managers, and they hated it because they thought that, they were not really understood. But when you are criticized by artificial intelligence, you're never offended. You cannot be offended at a robot, I mean, to the software. So the people really liked it. And I don't know, I don't have figures yet, but they said it might decrease the churn because people feel that, those call agents, they most of their salary comes from the sales, not from just making calls. So they think that, because they are taught, they are taken care of, these people will stay with them. And plus they have another project for us there to do onboarding for these people, but we haven't done it yet.
Okay, so to come back to my last question, like you have 20 clients and you charge around 5 to 10K a month for your services?
How much we charge for our services? Actually, it depends. It depends on what we do. For example, when they come to us with the problem, I try to understand. Actually, I mean, I could charge them two ways. Firstly, I could just understand how much it costs me to, the time of my engineers and then multiply it by 2, for example. But what I prefer to really dive deep and understand what value it brings to them. And if I understand that it could bring them, I don't know, $500,000 of value, instead of charging them, a small sum, I could charge them much bigger. So it really depends. I mean, if I understand the value, then I try to charge them, I would say, at least 25% of the value that they're getting.
And why not do that concretely? Let's say that you have them save $1 million in AWS fees. Why not charge them, 250K?
Actually, with AWS, there are 2 options, and the clients, it's their choice. So the first one, we just work for 3 months, and they are charged for the work of our people. The second one is performance-based bonus. We charge them 50% of their profit, multiplied by 3 months. So that's how we charge them.
Interesting. Who do you target precisely, and how do you get in touch with them?
Because I've been in business for many years, I have a network, and it's word of mouth. People know that Ukrainian engineers are good. Plus, with me, they know they will be taken. Somebody will try to understand their business, not just sell them engineers. So I keep this network. I travel extensively. I go to some conferences. I do road shows. I also have people who are LinkedIn, not only LinkedIn, lead generators. They like we sit down with them, and for example, like today, okay, they tell me no calls for today and for tomorrow. Really, that season is approaching. Okay, Christmas, New Year's, and then we decide. Okay, in Israel, there's no New Year's and Christmas. In Arabic countries, it's kind of the same. So why? And I mean, like in Israel right now, because of the war, many startup founders, many engineers, they are called to the Army Reserve. So why not target Israel and just do some LinkedIn letters based on the filters, for example, like call centers in Israel or educational companies in Israel, like something that we have already done. And we can, so when we target these people, we try to speak business to them. Like, this is what we've done for people in your industry, and this is how they were going to, this is how they made more money, or this is how their business life became more easier because it's automated now, something like this.
Right. Question on that client acquisition side, like, is it cold email? Is it LinkedIn outreach? Is it a combo of all of the above? Like, what's your main client acquisition channel?
If it's not my network, if it's not traveling, if it's not word of mouth, then I still believe that LinkedIn works. Emails, no, because our inboxes there are too many letters in our inboxes these days. And by the way, I am thinking of I have a business idea, and maybe I'll do some sort of a startup, but I'm still gathering information of how, with the help of Gen AI, ChatGPT stuff, how to help people whose inbox is like has 1,500 unread letters, and they are very aggravated about it. And because I even know people that say, don't send me letters to inbox, please communicate with me via LinkedIn or WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is more personal, LinkedIn. And it's because the inbox became very ineffective these days. So I would say that we would normally use LinkedIn, but what you offer in your LinkedIn should be very popular and very sexy. Like, and I mean, I understand this is not maybe honest, but it works. Why? Because it brings people to speak with me, for example, or with my sales guy. And then when they are already there, we know what to offer them. But on the surface, for example, when we are selling our DevOps services, you would receive something like, would you like to get from 5K to 100K free money from AWS? And that's it. And people react to it. Sometimes startups react to it. Sometimes even, if you target the correct people, the people who are unhappy about their budgets, cloud budgets, so then they would say, yeah, I would like to get 100,000 K. And of course, the devil is in details. We cannot offer them 100K immediately, especially if they already tapped into this money, if they already got this money from AWS before. But it's like a game. So in order to win the game, to kill the boss, as the kids say, you need to get from level to level. So when you are doing cold LinkedIn outreach, it's like trying to pick up a girl in the street. You need to give some value immediately, or at least propose some value immediately. And then it's your magic how to really satisfy them.
Roger that. Gen AI, where do you see things going in the B2B realm in the next 5 years?
I'm afraid to say that everything is going to be Gen AI. You won't be able to, for example, discern real news from fake news. It could be president, I don't know if you're American or what you know, it could be your president speaking some strange things, and you wouldn't know if it's really him or not, or if it's a fake. So I would say that they want to regulate it, do AI compliance, but I don't think it's feasible. And what you see with this head of OpenAI, go into Microsoft and leaving his own company with some of his colleagues, it's because there are many things that cannot be controlled, and some people try to go for progress and to make it, to make Gen AI even more popular and available, and other people try to restrain it because of ethical things, because sometimes it's really scary to think about it. So I would say that Gen AI will do everything. The news will be Gen AI, content will be Gen AI, people, I mean, we already live in a virtual world a lot and don't speak to each other. But imagine that, I don't know, but at the same time, there are many people who are lonely. And what they will be able, for example, you're a lonely man. So you'll be able to have a really nice girl on your screen, the way you want her to look, and she would speak about anything without you. She could be the neural network could be trained so that she speaks like a super sexologist, for example, or you can train a model for this girl or boy or this man or whatever your avatar is to speak like Steve Jobs, because all the books, all the data from Steve Jobs will be loaded. So I would say that pretty much of many things that we consume as a content would be done with the help of Gen AI. Like, for example, when I receive letters these days, I mean, I'm a Ukrainian, so my English is not my native language. So I understand and as a former teacher, I understand very well, when somebody writes to me, their level of English, for example. And right now I can't, because all people who write to me from African countries, from Arab countries, from France, whatever, they use Gen AI. So it's interesting. I mean, these letters, they don't seem real, but they are very grammatically and correct, and the style is correct. So yeah, so back to your question, Gen AI would be in every type of content that we consume.
Interesting. Well, thanks for showing up today, Igor. Where can we find out more about you?
You can Google me on LinkedIn, Igor Shaposhnikov. if you can remember my name, and or you can Google my company, dedicated.com with double T. And yeah, I would be happy if you have a business problem. I am excited to help and to teach you as a former teacher what's the best way, the straight cut to solve these problems and make more money or make life easier.
Love that. Thank you so much. I was Igor Shaposhnikov and Charles Cormier for another founder wisdompodcast.com.